Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, all my books will appear. I've got a great show for today, and I'm calling it, Hey, What's Your Superpower? Thanks for joining me for these next few minutes. Stay tuned, we'll get started with today's show. In one of my earlier posts, I wrote about choosing a word to define the different areas of your life that perhaps you'd like to change. The one I hear the most is that people say to me, Deb, I want to enjoy life to the fullest. And I always ask myself, I wonder what that means for them. So then I'll ask them to consider perhaps thinking about a word that would be an anchor to remind them of the commitment to enjoying their life. So if you were to say, hey, Deb, what's your word? I would say is freedom. That word expresses my desire to enjoy life to the fullest. So when I'm thinking about what I want to do this weekend to enjoy life, most of the time I'll pull on a pair of boots, find a freshly plowed field, and then get my metal detector out and start walking. There is such great joy in hearing my metal detector go ping, and that is freedom for me. I was pleased I got a lot of feedback on the idea of choosing a word for aspects of your life because it really is an easy way to commit to following through on the changes many want to make in their life, but without the rules that tend to get in the way and ultimately make people give up or stop. So I want to take the idea of you dusting off or polishing up your superpower one step further. And here's my thought. If you knew how to really use your superpower, and you do have one, by the way, I'd be curious to know what it is and then what you can do to strengthen it and make it lightning powerful. So it makes a difference in your life and the lives of those around you. I always like to say to folks, one of my superpowers is encouragement. It's an odd thing, but I believe I've always been an encouraging person. Frankly, I like to see others do well and succeed. I'm trusting enough to believe that all boats rise with the tide and that helping others doesn't dim my light. In fact, it makes the light brighter and warmer for all of us. I feel that leadership can be a very lonely path, so when I can bring others along, it helps fill the time and makes the journey a lot more interesting. When I started my radio show, I had a focus on public speaking skills, and while that is my passion, shocking but true, it did not seem to be the passion of my listening audience. So by listening to what was asked of me, I changed the direction of the programming to be more thoughtful and encouraging, which I have to say was an easy transition because that's who I am. And I've known instinctively that people, just good-hearted people, need to hear an encouraging word to build their foundation strong to withstand the storms of life. Although a show with a theme of encouragement was not my original intent, it really did end up being the right direction. And I'm really grateful to those who pushed me to take the road less traveled because I can truly say it has made all the difference in my life. Let me tell you, focusing on a positive message week after week, well, it changed me. And I believe it changed me for the better in so many ways, I really cannot begin to describe them all. And by the way, I consider that a life-changing direction truly was an amazing gift that I was given by strangers and friends. So how about you? What do you think your superpower is? Your best skill in developing yourself and helping others see the light in their life? Now, before I move on, let me clarify something. You must know what you can do for yourself and for others. However, I don't want you to think it's all about others. I know, shocking but true. It's important, but at the end of the day, I'm really asking about your time, your talent, because friends, you matter. And when your cup is full, you can fill others' cup. But the reality is, it's hard to do when you're running on empty. So, first and foremost, your superpower is about you and for you. And then you can help others. Now, you may be thinking, helping others? Goodness, Deb, I need all the help I can get. And while that may be true, trust me on this. I have found that once you have found and filled your space, if you will lend a helping hand to others, even those you don't particularly like, it is a strange phenomena in our spinning Earth's trip around the sun that by reaching out to help others steady their footing on this swiftly moving planet. Someone, somewhere, somehow will help you or will give you a sense of assurance in your life's direction. Now, you may be asking, Deb, how do I know what my skill and talents are that'll help me so I can help others? All right, let's just start with this. Tell me, what do you like to do? Now, don't go too deep here. I'm simply asking, what is something you do when you reflect back on, you realize that it electrified your whole being, not just your heart or your mind, but all of you? For me, it's when a client gets the idea of threes in speaking and then can recraft their message to incorporate that new idea. Because from a speaker's point of view, that changes everything. And I have to say, sitting back and watching and listening to someone change their humdrum talk into something more useful and interesting, that's a real kick for me as a coach. I have also enjoyed coaching Pee-wee kids in sports. After a Saturday morning game with the little bumblebees all clumped together to follow each other up and down the field, I have to admit I felt a sense of belonging and appreciation for all those little sweaty hands and heads. After a long week on the road or with clients, those little rascals brought me a sense of it's all right in the world. One thing I will always cherish is the time I served on city council, where by the power of my office, I really was able to help those who had no one to come to their aid. Just the opportunity to make things right for the right reason without excuse or blame, that was a great feeling. I realized early in life that I have a few gifts and talents that make my life a little easier. One of them is my ability to get things done. Is there a word for it to put on my wall? Maybe. I'm still thinking about that. But I can tell you that the feeling of accomplishment is imprinted in my heart and mind, and for me, that's a lifetime lesson. So how about you? What are things that you really love to do that leave you feeling settled, useful, good, healthy, powerful, and certainly powerful enough to help the powerless? A voice or a shoulder, a strong hand to make things right, or at least as right as possible. See, the exciting thing is this. Anyone can build on the superpowers they have and then sharpen them to be a gleaming sword to cut through the chaos and make things right. Friend, if you need to strengthen your core to be the man or woman you want to be, then do what it takes to own your power and stop wasting time. You'll find that space to build your strength is most likely in your alone time. And really, no one can do that for you. So this year, push the bounds on being bigger, bolder, more assertive in life than you probably feel comfortable with, because I'm pretty sure you will be able to grow into your new sense of self very quickly. Now, just a thought, don't be put off by others who offer a suggestion of your strengths, because really many times your friends and family, they can see the goodness in you to perhaps help you on your path to stronger self-development. So don't ignore or discount their positive comments about you. Hey, listen, you might even learn something about yourself you didn't quite embrace before. What I'd like to know is that your shoulders are strong enough. Your mind is ready. Your heart is set to carry the mantle of publicly embracing your superpower. And here's why. Friends, you know this. We live in a world where a lot of people simply need a helping hand. Not just those who are down on their luck, but your friends and family who are dangerously close to being down on their life. And I don't say that lightly. If you look long enough and deep enough at your kids, your spouse, your family, your coworkers, you might be surprised, and not in a good way. And if you are in that lineup, be strong enough to step away from the edge and, friend, get the help you need. There is no shame in getting help. Here's a fact. The shame is in thinking you can do it alone when you can't. Because asking and accepting, well, now that takes amazing strength and power. I know it's easy to look the other way because we all have our burdens to carry. But friend, you might be the only voice that someone will hear and listen to. And if you change out of your street clothes and put on your super cape, you may just save the day. You might save a friend, a family member, a coworker. But friend, that's only going to happen when you build your superpower and use it for good, not just for yourself, but for others. So hear me. Do not be afraid to show your superpower. Friend, I want everyone to see it and to recognize it and to know who to turn to when they need a friend with superpower strength. All right, friends, thanks for listening. I'm Deb Sofield, and this has been Encouragement for Your Life. I have to tell you, I really enjoy doing these shows, but what I really like is when a few of you write me and say, Deb, that was a great one. I appreciate it. So I'll tell you this, I hope you'll join me next week because I'd like to continue this journey together as we work together towards a better day. And remember, Deb doesn't care what the world says about you. I want you to know that I care about you. And I care about you because I believe you can do big things. And that only happens when you put on that super cape and step out of the phone booth and into the light. And remember, I'm going to walk alongside you as we follow your success together. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. Join me next week.